What is up, Salt Casters? We just had Rizzo on the podcast. It was another excellent episode. The man is a legend, an OG, and huge content creator in the game. He recently announced his retirement, and that's when we knew we had to get him on the podcast. We talk about the beginning of Rocket League, him getting into the game, his early teams, all the way up to his most recent team and all of his success throughout his Rocket League history. And then, of course, we do address retirement and even how to farm likes and controversy through tier lists. It's an excellent episode. Enjoy. Let's get into it. Rizzo, once again, thank you very much for being on the podcast. As always, we start off with the question, what are you salty about? Comes to mind for you, buddy?
What am I salty about? I guess no worlds. Kind of salty about that. No worlds
LAN.
for RLCS. Yeah, oh yeah, no LAN.
Yeah. Well, I guess there is no worlds either. It is championships now. It's just the regional stuff. That's fair.
I think it's kind of I feel like I expected it, but still it's like the announcement is still kind of like, oh man.
Yeah, I think we, to keep like the tradition. I mean, somebody asked me about this the other day in chat, but we probably just change it to Worlds. The NA regional, just change that to Worlds. Just very similar to like Major League Baseball and some of these other things. And I mean, I think the general sentiment right now is that NA is so good that no one else matters. So you might as well just. I mean, who cares if Monkey Moon's not in the region? You got first killer. Let's just do Worlds NA regionals, right?
I can't believe I've not heard this still though. That's genius.
Fresh take. Fresh take.
I'm just amazed at all the arguments
sense.
online. We haven't heard this. This is like the best argument out of all of them. Apparently I'm a bit loud. I'm going to try and move my mic away.
I can move you down as well. Yeah, so that's okay. I think that settles it. Let's just do that. Rizzo, do you want to tell Psyonix or should I?
Yeah, you could reach out to them, let them know.
Okay, cool. All right.
So everybody wants to talk about, or everybody wants to hear Rizzo talk about the retirement, but we've got to go back in time and talk about the first near retirement that happened. I think it was the first one. Correct me if I'm wrong. But wasn't it after RLCS Season 1
you say the first one, but there were quite a few, more? Johnny. There's quite a few.
Were they all tweets?
There were plenty near retirements. No, they weren't. Oh, you're talking about the tweet.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the tweet, Johnny, or something else?
Yeah. Didn't you did tweet one, right?
I said I was taking a break for a while.
Oh, okay.
Is it a break? I thought you said you were leaving competitive Rocket League because I read it personally, so that's what I thought it was.
Oh, did I? Okay. Well, if you read it, then what did it say?
Well, that's what I thought. That's the impression I have, but it was a long time ago. It was before you came back and did Take Two. So I mean, it's been a bit, right? Like, I am getting elderly. I could be remembering it wrong, but that's what I thought you said.
I don't know. I think I said I was taking a break because I remember people coming into my stream and being like, "Didn't you like stop playing?" And I always just said it was a break.
I see.
Gotcha. Okay. So what was going on there? What was the thinking behind this? What was your plans at the time?
Oh man, dude, I don't even know. I was probably just trying to stream at the time too. I was probably just like sad we lost something. I don't even know, to be honest. And then it's like, well, at the time too, like RLCS was so small anyway.
Yep.
And like no orgs were interested, or not many at least. And like even if you did get an org, it's like your pay was pretty bad. So it wasn't like you had enough incentive to really stick in it, or stay in it.
So was it content that did you think, okay, that looks like a more fun career, or that looks like a more consistent kind of income? What was the thinking behind the focus there?
Well, I have always wanted to do content creation. Like I have, no joke, I've done it for like 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
Probably. With like,
Minecraft,
and I started with like Minecraft. So I've always been super into content creation. I've always like loved watching YouTubers and stuff like that. So yeah, I probably just wanted to do that. I probably didn't think about it too much either. I was just like, I really want to do this, so I'll just try to do it.
Yeah. And back then, I think a lot of people will know this, but all of the newer fans won't know. But yeah, you were, I think it was back when Kronovi was the biggest Rocket League streamer by far. He was like the only one in that kind of category. Now there's lots of big Rocket League streamers. He was the only really big one. And then you were, how big was your stream before you joined G2, I forget. But yeah, you were like probably the second most watched Rocket League streamer, but there was a big gap between Kronovi and everybody else.
Yeah, I remember every time he would start streaming, because I was like pushing for partner.
Yeah, it
And
was
so
harder
every
back
time,
then. It was harder back
yeah,
then.
every time he would stream, I would shut off my stream because I had to keep my viewers high. And then like if he started, I just had to leave. Or A Money, I would leave or stop streaming because A Money
Oh
would.
my
So
goodness,
I had to
that's
really focus
crazy.
on that.
A Money put in a bit of a false start in your streaming career. That's crazy. Yeah, A Money was one of the biggest streamers.
Yeah, A Money was huge at the
Yeah.
time. And he'd always stream. He'd take the graveyard
I
shift.
found the tweet.
Oh, you found it?
found
No way.
I found the tweet. July 30th.
All right, what did I say?
Here, yeah, you tell me what was going through your head. July 30th, 2016. Thanks for everything, Rocket League. I've decided to no longer play competitive RL for the time being. Best of luck to Zane and Insolences.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the time being.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
I think
I
it's kind of
probably,
somewhere
though-
between both of us, honestly. I think it's.
I know if I said put that tweet out now, I know what it would mean. But I think at the time I didn't really think about it too much. So when people read it, they were just like, "Oh, he quit or he's done." But for the time being, to me, it probably just meant break.
Now you
But
know.
yeah, that is a bad way to word it.
Now you
I do
know
see
what
that.
it's like to have the responsibility of like an audience, right? So now you would never be so reckless
Exactly.
as to be so vague.
But like that was so you did have the whole take 3 run, the deepest run for an NA team in season 2. But then yeah, EU teams, the top 3 were probably in a level of their own at that point. I think EU flying or NA flying to EU is also a harder jet lag, I think. What are your memories from that tournament in Amsterdam? Do you have anything that you just remember to this day?
I don't know. That tournament was just so fun because we didn't really. I don't know if the other two, Zane and Insolences, like expected to be there, but I definitely didn't. Like at the beginning of this season, and so I also don't remember if you remembered how we qualified, Johnny. But
I don't remember. What was it again? Wasn't it like some
We-
crazy tie?
We were no. We were like it was versus Matt's team. It was like Matt Lethamir, I think, and
Oh
somebody
wait, yeah,
else.
the Zane Jackie carry. I do remember.
Yeah, so we were down like 3
Whoa.
goals with like low time left, and I swear Zane just put in like 3 goals, or he put in
Yep.
like 2 or something. I don't know, and then we ended up tying it and then winning like 4, like before OT. I'm pretty sure. So it was like this crazy comeback to actually, qualify, and then we were just like there, like I remember freaking out. It was so funny.
Bet. Yeah, yeah, I do remember that now. Actually, now you say it, the Zane Jackie carry. I forgot. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you guys, all I remember from that team at that LAN, I was managing Flipside at the time. So every time I went backstage to the practice room, you guys were so loud. Like everybody else.
Everybody was so serious, and we're like yelling at each other.
Yeah, you guys were screaming at each other.
I remember people gave us like funny looks, like pretty sure Panda was like looking at us like, is that how you always like talk to your team?
Yeah, because it wasn't like you're yelling loud to get into other teams' heads. You were actually just shouting at each other, like as teammates. It looked like you guys were taking it so lightly. And Orbit, or I think it was Orbit, Garrett's team, and NRG. Was it NRG or Kings of Urban? I forget. Yeah, they all had so much pressure. They were all putting so much pressure on themselves, and you guys were just messing around. And then you go top 4. So I was like, well, clearly
We
there's
ended
a
up
tie
beating.
there.
We beat Precision Z. I remember
Yeah,
that,
we
but
did,
we
yeah.
lost to Flipside twice. So that was the only. We lost to the winners twice. That's the only way we got out.
Yeah, you're up on Flipside at one point as well. You took game 1 or something in the
It's
upper
so
bracket.
nice when you can say that at like a tournament where you're like, yeah, we only lost to the champions, so
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
second place
And it helps the pride. It does.
for sure.
It was how much does having fun in that kind of context matter for teams in these days? Like, is it still as important? Does it help a lot when you're just having a laugh?
I think. Well, I don't know, like result wise, how much it might help, but like mentally, it's easy to like brush things off for like a loss or whatever. Because like, when, like for example, when I announced like the retirement, and people knew we were going into the last regional or the first regional with like a whatever kind of mindset. Like obviously we're trying, but whatever happens. Everybody knows I'm gone anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not that big of a deal. Obviously, you don't want to flop, but going out in 4th place, we're not like slamming discs and stuff like that. We're not stressing it too much. We're like happy with the placement or whatever. And also, it was like one of our better placements anyway. So
yeah, it was good.
Top 4.
I thought it was pretty good. Good run. The top 3 were very good. They were all very good teams. Northern, Mocket, and Flipside. So let's fast forward to Kronovi joining Kronovi's team. I remember there's a lot of people kind of wanting that spot because Kronovi had Jknaps as a confirmed teammate, and lots of people wanted to also get in on that, and you ended up getting it. And then you guys had like a lot of seasons together, lots of tournaments, won E-League, right? Beat the world champs Gale Force in the final just a month after they won the season 4 world finals. Like we're chat might realize we're really condensing a lot of time here because we want to, cover everything. Rizzo's got a very packed career, but like, what do you remember, or what are the best stories from teaming with Kronovi, Jknaps, from start to finish?
That was when like events actually started to happen a bunch, so it was a lot more structured. I feel like where before, like with with take 3, it was kind of like whatever. It's like, are we scrimming today? No, I don't know. Who knows? I don't want to scrim today. I mean, that was like the early seasons of Rocket League too, but then it became a lot more serious with Crow and Jake, and then eventually we had Jazzo join.
Oh
eventually.
yeah, Jazzo, he joined at some point with that team.
Jazzo joined a bit later, like after we signed, because it was basically like on Kronovi to get the scrims, and clearly he didn't want that. We were just like, or I think G2 actually was like, you guys need a manager. Like this is this is a mess.
Was the key. Everybody back then was like saying, "Oh, Rocket League teams need coaches." I never thought this. I was like, "No, they need managers. Like, they need alarm clocks. They need to like have people tell them where to be and when. They don't need to know how to play the game." It's
I've never like realized how much I would ever rely on a manager until like I had one. It's like every single thing. I'm like, Jazzo, what are we doing? Jazzo, where's this? Where's that? Jazzo, which bus do I get on? Which train? It's like every single thing.
Do you like that though? I mean, you can just stop thinking about it, stop worrying about
it. I love it so much. It's so nice because somebody else just handles all the stuff that like it's so much less stressful. To have to figure out like what bus or train you have to go on, and when you're in like some foreign country, you just have no idea where you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's in some cases we told this story a few times, but yeah, that would be done for people like Cuxer, and he still gets on like he goes to like the wrong airport or something.
Yeah.
Like, Cux, what do you mean you're in the other airport? No, you missed the plane. Oh.
So, similar with Jknaps, there was a DreamHack Atlanta one time. The hotel was a 5-minute indoor walk from the venue.
Yeah.
And this dude walked outside of the hotel and like 20 minutes the other way, had no Wi-Fi, and then he had to go into like an Arby's to figure out where he was to connect the Wi-Fi because he's Canadian and didn't have service.
Oh no!
And then he had to it's like 90 degrees, super humid too during the summer, and he like gets to the wherever he's like, "Where's Jknaps? We play our game, we have practice or whatever." And then he gets there, he's like sweating profusely with a Gatorade. It's like he's like, "Dude, I was so lost, I didn't know where I was going."
That's bad. I mean, I'd be kind of scared. Like foreign country, no like internet. I've only done that I think one time.
Foreign country. I don't know. Canada to the U.S. It's pretty hard to call. Like it's like it's almost a 0% change.
But like, if the phone didn't work, if it's 4G,
the phone,
that part
service
for sure. That's like having like a dead phone.
Yeah.
Dead phone, new city. Dead phone, new city. I'll give it that, but I don't know about foreign country. It's certainly not like there's a communication barrier.
Yeah. It was more like the dead phone. I mean, I've only had that once because I don't know why, but my 4G just works everywhere apart from when we went to Lebanon, Matt, for New Year. That was my first experience of my phone being completely useless. It was a watch.
Yep.
It was a clock. I was like, wow, this is weird. You got to like do all your planning before you leave. Like order the Uber in the Airbnb with Wi-Fi, and then you can really quickly run down, get in. You're like, okay, that's us. We're off the grid.
Here we go. Yep. Bear Grylls.
For the rest of the night. I can't imagine that that's what it's like for a lot of these Rocket League players going to these countries for events. It's scary because they just have nothing. So we gotta like keep it moving here. Everybody also will want to know. I think the next like really interesting thing. There's like so much. We're skipping here. Let's go to RLCS season 7. You guys look like you're gonna win it. You're on fire. I think look like the favorites, maybe all event, and then Vitality for some reason just decided that they wanted to win the final. But what happened from your perspective, Rizzo? In the tournament in the final, it's obviously devastating to come second, but overall, I think you guys played pretty good. So proving a lot of haters wrong.
Well, gameplay wise, I don't really know. Like I just it's like memory you just black out. You don't want to remember that sort of thing. I never went back and watched it or anything. So gameplay wise, I don't really know. It's just like They just honestly, Johnny, they just scored more goals.
Yeah,
That's
they
really
probably did.
all it was.
They
A lot of
probably did.
wisdom. A lot of wisdom
What's
in
the
that
difference?
statement.
You've been in a few finals. What's the difference between a final and every other game? There's always talked about all finals are different, but what for you is the difference?
Oh my god, there's just so much more pressure. I feel like. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you made it that far and you want to win so bad. So it's I don't know, it's just hard mentally, I guess.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there's that, and then of course, well, you guys maybe going into that, did you feel like favorites against Vitality, or did you think it was even, or were you like, oh no, it's Kate up in a final?
Well, we had beat them like the day before or whatever,
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
Friday
yeah.
before.
Uh-huh.
So we're confident in like winning that. Like we knew we could win. When I'm just like, oh, it's Vitality, we lost. But
Mhm.
then again, they Vitality ended up beating like Energy and then C9 or something like that. Or
Yeah, they
C9
ran it.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
just
went the tough way.
went through
Yeah.
all the NA teams and then it was just like we were the last hope.
The last hope just wasn't meant to be. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we did mention earlier you did win E-League. I feel like that's a huge win, beating Gale Force in the final. That was with Kronovi, of course. The RLCS season 7 was with Chicago. So you have won a huge LAN. I put E-League like on the same kind of level as the RLCS LANs because it was the same teams.
Yeah, I
they were
would like when I'm thinking about LAN events too, I would consider like there's like DreamHack events, like E-League, just any event where the actual top teams are there. Like winning
Yeah.
that is still so important.
Totally. Same
Yeah.
level for me. Yeah. I mean, the money might be
Nobody
different.
should nobody should like undercut that, or I don't know, not think highly as that sort of event because it's such an accomplishment as well
Oh,
for
yeah.
like any player, like not even just me or whatever, just any player to win one of those. It feels so good. So I wouldn't want people to undermine that.
Yeah, and it was Gale Force right after a month after they won Worlds. Everybody's like, yep, they just smashed it. 4-0 in the finals. Nobody's going to beat them, and you guys beat them. So it does, I think it's
Yeah,
the
that
same
was
level.
crazy. See, the weird thing is that E-League was probably more of a feeling of, oh god, it's Gale Force compared to RLCS season 7 where we're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just Vitality, like we just beat
Just
them.
Vitality.
But like before, it's like, it's Gale Force. We'll just take second.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, so you didn't feel like favorites there. You won. Maybe felt like favorites versus Vitality. Lost it. Probably did. I mean, in
Yeah,
Chicago's
maybe
interview
it was
for
a pressure thing.
Montreal, you were favorites for sure in terms of what he said. But I've heard that maybe the questions were leading or something. Like what happened there? Because Chicago did it pre-final.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're the
Yeah,
best team
so
in the world.
okay, so I remember him telling me about this like before. We watched the interview. He was like, "Dude, the interviewer set me up." I was like, "What do you mean set you up?" Something like that. And then we end up watching it, and he's like, "Yeah, we're the best team in the world. Nobody's gonna be." I'm like, "Dude, Chicago would never say that." Like, and
Yeah,
he's like,
I was casting. I was like, I heard that. I was like, whoa, that's like really bold. I was like, not expecting that one.
Yeah, and apparently the interviewer was just like, yeah, he didn't know what to say. He was like it was one of those questions where it's like set up to kind of talk shit.
Mhm.
And when Chicago's like, oh, I don't really know what to say, the interviewer just kind of told him to say like what to say. He's like, I just say this instead.
You could say this.
And it's like a rush thing. Like that interview was
made
like right before the event, or not the event, the
after
the match.
Yeah,
exactly. It was so quick.
We could use some of these tricks, Johnny.
Yeah, we could. We should.
What don't you like about EU Rocket League players, Rizzo? Hurry, quick,
hurry! Oh, I don't know.
I mean, we did this for Smug.
Here's how I'd answer it.
A lot of players had that, kind of problem. They'd be like, I don't know what to say. We'd be like, well, I mean, you could say this, or if you want to sound more like this, you could say this, and then they just like go with something funny. And it was a lot of roasting. You did this with, of course, you versus Sizz. Really, what you did, you guys didn't need any help. Like anyone who thinks we helped them script this, no, we didn't. We did not. They didn't need any help at all. So okay, I've got a question for you. Just to summarize season 8, why do you think G2 and C9 struggled in season 8? This is right after you guys came second at World. C9, I think, were also very competitive that season, top 3 NA. And then, season 8, you're both in relegations from the league play. What was different after, I think, 2 whole years of both of you being top 3?
Oh, man. I honestly don't even know, because I can't even remember if there were, like, crazy roster changes that happened. I think it was just a fluke.
Really?
But it was also a sign of, like, the region actually getting more competitive, because
Yeah.
Like seasons 3 through like 6 just
Even
felt
7.
like,
Even 7. You guys were still
yeah,
top 3 in season 7 as well.
it just felt like, even though I guess we didn't qualify for season 3, but they just felt like so much more straightforward, like just one-sided. Like every single, you could go into a match and be like, this team's gonna win for the most part.
Yeah, there's a lot more
Whereas like, I
obvious.
feel like you can't do that anymore.
Chat saying bump meta, is that it? Is that all it is? Simple as that? Sounds like a caster analysis right there. Oh, it's just the bumps, you know.
I was
You're the one
somebody who
doing that.
bumped a lot, so I don't know. I don't know if that's really it. Maybe I just sucked at it.
I think you summarized it pretty well. Yeah, the region did improve. It was like there were now more teams who were a legitimate threat.
Oh yeah, the reason I say it's fluky as well, now that I'm thinking about it, because I always had the thought that it was a little fluky, but like we smashed like every scrim as well. So it's like one of the weird things where like match day comes and it just doesn't happen, and it's like you have what 7 chances, 9 games or something in that season, and it's like you just don't win those series and you're in relegation, and it's like, oh well, that's unlucky.
That's interesting. Squishy back then raged because of the bumps and criticized that. I mean, probably on stream, but I don't think that
pretty
does
much
that happen in
everybody
pro
did.
comms. Does
Pretty
that
much
happen in pro
everybody
comms, Rizzo, where people are like, "Oh, I can't believe they're bumping so much. This guy."
Oh no,
Unethical. Unethical.
I mean, actually, in the last tournament I played, like the regional, like the most recent regional that I played.
Yeah.
First killer spawn demoed me, I think 4 times in a row, and he got me like back and forth, and like I didn't say like, oh my god, why is he just bumping me? I was just like, I'm dead, like I can't play. Like first killer just spawn demoed me. Like you just call it like it is. Like yeah, I'm getting spawn demoed. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead again. I'm dead again.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think Monkey Moon could do that.
You're really on this train.
It's
4 in a row. Nah, I've only ever seen Monkey
tough.
3. Yeah. Okay. What you've said? I think you said on your channel that you were. Well, I think you've made it public many times that you were planning retirement after season 9, but then you accidentally won everything. So like, how does that feel? You know, you're like, oh yeah, we'll just retire at the end of the season. You know, I'll play it out, make sure that Chicago and Jknaps have a good third. But yeah, this is it. This is the last season. And then you won season 9, destroyed spring series. Like, what happened? Where did it all go wrong?
Suffering from success, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't want to play anymore because I kind of felt like the lack of motivation was like coming. Like I didn't really want to do it all too much and anymore. Anyway, and like RLCS X, like I was told, basically. So you said the tweet in season 1 or whatever. Basically, I've always had a thought of just like, okay, maybe this is my last season. Maybe this is my last season. Apparently, Jazzo told me I brought it up to him in like season 4 in London or something. And then I know I did it in season 9. Probably did it like season 6 or something. But yeah, I felt like the lack of motivation, and then we just won, and I was like, well, it's kind of weird to just leave when you're winning. But every time RLCS, or like every time I wanted to step down, RLCS would always step it up, and they'd be like, something cool is happening, and sometimes it's like org items are, and I was like, I kind of want a piece of that, you know. Or it's like, you know, something, or like the format change, and RLCS X is like completely different, and this is gonna be a lot cooler. So yeah, let's stick around for that.
Are you glad you did? Are you glad you stuck around for RLCS season X?
I think so for the most part. I don't think I should have played the second split, but first split.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
And did you say that? I think you said publicly that you announced that you'd want to leave, but they wanted you to stay and play that second split. Is that right? Or am I mixing things up?
No. So I finished off the second split. And I told them to find a player for the third split, but that ended up falling through. And so that's why I played the first regional in the third split.
Got it.
Right.
So that, they couldn't get a player.
Completely leave them, you know, with nothing, obviously.
There was a lot of time to grab a player, but, you know, it's very hard because it's like the end of the season. So players they're not like, they can obviously make the choice to move for the most part if orgs allow it, but you know, they're kind of sticking with their team because if they leave, they like screw over their team.
Yeah.
And it might just affect like friendships, and people, surprisingly, they do still care about that, even though, you know, people say it's like, oh, it's a business, it's money, but people will. still care about that sort of thing. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
They don't want to just fuck over their entire team. Sorry, can I say?
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, they don't want to just fuck
like,
over their entire
we
team.
didn't get hosted by Rocket League or anything, did we? Or, like, that's the only situation where that's not happening.
No.
Oh no.
My partner application.
So wait, that's the retire, or that was before you retired. Now you have retired.
Well,
Seems
okay,
like
technically, like not officially, but
oh yeah, I guess
yeah.
you're still on the roster. But if things go to plan, Dries plays the rest of the season. How is this transitional period going? How are you feeling?
I feel really good about it. I think they feel really good about it too. Like the other guys. I know Dries is super excited to play, and he's been having a lot of fun, from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Apart from when he 1v1 Chicago, don't know if you saw this one, but it didn't go very well for him.
I heard about that. Yeah.
I have no idea what happened there, but yeah, I'm sure Dries will bounce back. He'll regain. What content are you most excited about making now that you've made that? Now that you've actually got time, you don't have to scrim, right, and do like replay reviews or whatever else you were doing before. You've got
Yeah.
all this time in your day. What are you doing with the time?
Everything is so much less like stressful, I guess,
Yeah.
because I don't have to pack everything into like this 8-hour span. Because before, if I actually wanted to be consistent on YouTube, I would wake up, stream, scrim, YouTube, and it's like 8 hours just right there, like the entire time. It's like no breaks essentially.
Yeah.
And so that was like my day to day every time. And also, I didn't enjoy, throughout RLCS X, or at least especially in the second split. One, it was really bad, like with me mentally, just like my mental health, and I just was not having a good time. And then I didn't enjoy it, and it was like pretty stressful because I didn't want to be there. So
Yeah.
You were kind of checked out at the same time.
Yeah, and I just had to show up because it's just like, oh god. And so I didn't enjoy it. I had to be there, and I would just go through these like, it's perfectly reasonable to work for 8 hours or whatever, but every single day straight, like not even a break. Like I'm not even like a 30-minute, 20-minute break for the most part. Like I would just go in, go out, and then it's like 7, 8. Yeah.
That's rough for anybody. But yeah, I think the grind was real. RLCS Season X, like overall, I mean, do you think there's too much? Do you think that in the future they should reduce the amount of stuff that's going on, or do you think it's fine and players who are saying there's too much are overreacting? I want to just quickly exempt though what time of day things are doesn't need to be a part of this conversation. Obviously, if events are happening while school is on, that's probably bad. It should be later, but overall, the workload for players, do you think it's in a good place, or is there too much?
I think it's a lot. It's probably more doable for people who are newer to the esport, because for me, I was so used to one RLCS season, every few months, and then you just grind really hard for a few weeks, or probably like a month or two. I guess they're like 2-month seasons. So you grind really hard for 2 months and have like 3-month break. Like that's your like off season essentially. But this entire season has been so, like, the most you get for a break is like a week, I think.
Yeah,
I don't even know. And like,
I think there was 2 at one point for like Christmas and New Year. I think there was a
exactly.
break. And there was an event on. It wasn't even really a
breaks.
break. There was like the BTS event, so for a lot of teams there wasn't even a break there either. So other orgs are running tournaments.
Yeah, and the other thing I forgot.
It'll come back.
It'll come back to me.
It'll come back. What about the grid? Do you think what is your experience playing the grid and now watching the grid? Do you think that it's the same?
I think the grid is super good for orgs. I don't think players care too much for it. Maybe in EU it's different, but for NA it's like the same teams are usually winning it for the most part. So that major spot is pretty pointless. I don't know. Is it different for EU? Are teams actually getting major spots from that?
It has happened. I mean, I think Singularity got a major spot from it last time. Then this time, German Amigos got a major spot. So it does work. Well, it is relevant in that regard. But I don't think it has to be. It's fine that it is. It would probably be fine if it wasn't. I don't know if there would be. Obviously, the teams who only have grid, they're going to be more motivated because that's what they're doing. They're not in the regionals and the other stuff. But most of the teams, like you said, are proven to be pretty consistent. They're qualifying for pretty much everything, all the regionals.
Yeah,
All
I
relevant teams,
think
at least.
if they're going to have grid, they should actually make it like important, because a major spot is really good for a lot of teams, but if it's not actually being taken for the most part from grid, the entire grid feels useless. Like,
Right.
a lot of that time the players would rather just spend it scrimming, because there's no like wait times, and they could actually just be much more efficient with that time.
So you did mention a good point, though. It is good for orgs, because I mean the org streams are popping off, and the Rocket League channel.
Orgs are very happy about it.
The Rocket League channel gets another day where they're pulling huge viewership, which is great for RL Esports.
Yep. Brings in new blood, new casters, Richard Lewis.
Yeah, there's loads of talent, loads of casters, loads of production teams, lots of more stuff happening, which is good. Here's you can give your verdict on my solution then, Rizzo. So if the problem is that it doesn't have that much meaning, what about, I mean, I don't know if you're like this personally, but what do you reckon for this format for teams in RLCS and in the grid? If they did 2v2 instead, if the grid was 2v2, but if orgs need to be integrated, then org teams, which are 3v3 teams, have to be a part of it. And the only way to do that is by doing a crew battle 2v2, which I've talked about this a lot recently on my channel. I've been experimenting with it. I like the format a lot. It's like you need to win a best of 5 where every combination of your 3 players has to win one game. So for G2 now, Jknaps Rees would have to win a game, Jknaps Chicago would have to win a game, Chicago Rees would have to win a game, and it would be the same for the other team. Both teams are trying to win one game in that series with all of their combos. That's how you win the best of 5. Like, what do you reckon? Would that work with orgs and making the actual different content?
I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know if that would be good for the grid though.
Why not?
I think that's a very good idea. Well, because if you're giving a major spot, why would it not be 3v3?
Oh no major. No major spot. Yeah.
It's just like a for funsies tournament?
Well, it would be like
with money?
Yeah, it would be like, I guess, a 2v2 event. Because right now, I think it's kind of weird that Rocket League, the game that most people play in Rocket League is 2v2 by far, and there's no 2v2 tournaments. So a lot of people who play Rocket League, they probably only ever play 2v2. Then they look at RLCS, and they see threes. They probably, like that. But, 2v2 I think it can be pretty good. I was a big fan of both of the 2v2 Universal Open tournaments, but 2v2 as grid, I think that could be it could be fresh, it could be different content, a little bit of variety. Yeah, no major spot though, for sure.
Do you think players would be not excited about being obligated to some 2v2 mode, like tournament, in addition to all the other responsibilities that they already have?
Well, yeah, I think if they're obligated to it, it's an issue, because players play 2s ranked, whenever. And what they're obligated to is their 3v3 tournaments, and then they're 3 scrims, I guess. So if they're obligated to this 2s tournament for it's an RLCS event, right? Still, because you said it's
it would be like the Rocket League channel.
So it would be forced. You would have to play in it, or I guess you could.
Well, maybe you wouldn't have to. You could the orgs if one of their players really doesn't want to play. If you were just a player who doesn't want to play in this, maybe the org could just bring in another player who, and maybe 2 of the 3 want to play it and the other guy doesn't. They just bring in a 2s player and play the grid with him, and or they could just not play it at all. I don't think it's. Is it actually mandatory? I mean, if you passed up a grid spot, somebody else would just get it, right? I don't think it's a. Obviously, orgs want to play it right now.
Yeah,
it's just 3.
Your orgs would be pissed if you're I guess if you don't have an org, it's whatever. But a lot of people have orgs now.
I'm just thinking about what you guys did for Fusion with Mile. You brought in Mile to play 1s, and he played a little bit of 2s as well. I was like, maybe that could work in this context with somebody. If for a player, I'm sure there's some player who just doesn't want to play a 2s tournament, and then there's other players who really want to play it. Variety for me. And maybe you can answer this question. What do you think about the amount of 3v3 events from a viewer perspective? Do you think it's burning out people, or do you think it will burn out people in the future?
I don't think grid should even exist, to be honest. I don't think it should be a thing, because every time you see a matchup, especially if you're playing the grid wins, whatever, they just feel like Turbo would say a Mickey Mouse win, it's just not, it just doesn't grid is just it just doesn't matter. I feel like, and like players won't care about it as much. I think in EU
Yeah.
it might be different because they can actually get that major spot, but it doesn't feel as important as RLCSX. So if you lose, or like the regionals, I mean, so if you lose in grid, you're just like, oh well, you know, the regionals what matter, the majors what matter, every single time.
I think Turbo kind of indicated that too when he was on the Saltcast, Johnny. He was kind of basically he was saying that, like, well, I mean, the question that we asked him was about like his, you know, vendetta with NRG, and he was basically like, yeah, we've played each other about 35 times since I left. So
yeah, the rivalry
doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, there's who cares? You know, I'm gonna play them 4 times next week or something. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it lost. I mean, if he left,
it's so
NRG,
much.
and then they played one time in like 4 months down the line, everybody would be like, "Oh my goodness, it's Turbo against his old team." But now it's like, "Oh look, it's Turbo versus his old team again." They're playing every week in the grid. So no, it definitely is. You know, a little bit less spicy for the matchups, and the viewers are like, "Oh, this match again." That's kind of why I would like to see something new format wise, because if that was a 2v2 crew battle event, orgs would still got to be in it. The org streams would still be there. The viewership would still be there. It'd be different content for the viewers. You know, maybe some new players get in, some other players get a break if they don't want to play. I think it would just be fresh. And it would also be the biggest 2v2 tournament. So that would be hype. You know, it's like, oh, look, that's the best 2v2 team in NA. Instead of like right now, whoever wins the grid, they're not the best 3v3 team in NA. They're just the team who won the grid. And then the RLCS regionals and majors decide who the best threes team is.
Yeah, that could be cool. Like if it actually was 2v2, it's just like, oh yeah, they won the grid. Like that could be cool. I see that. I think for RLCSX or like the regionals and majors specifically, it's really good for players and not as good for viewers. I guess unless you're just like a super fan, because again, there's so many games always happening that every single match feels less important. So it rewards consistency for the players, which is why it's good. But for viewers, it's like you see it so much, or there's so many games played that like, you know, you have 18 other chances, right?
Yeah. I kind of see where they're going with it though, because I think Rocket League is headed in the direction of a sport rather than an esport. Like nobody watches every NBA game, as far as I'm aware. Like I'm not an NBA viewer.
Oh no,
myself.
plenty of people do, but yeah.
Really, they watch every game. Oh man.
Oh, like, okay. Maybe for like one team.
They'll watch all of one team. But
I'm sure there's people watch every game, but
yeah,
I'm sure there's some super fans.
Is there enough time in a day? I don't even know if it's possible, but yeah.
You just watch 4 at once.
Yeah, you just
red zone style.
Red zone. That's the one. But yeah, I think that's where Rocket League's headed. Like right now, it's a transitional period. People are used to, and every other season before this, watching all the games, and every single game they watch it all, and now they're like, "Whoa, how am I supposed to do what I've done up until now?" Because there's so many more games. But they probably just have to cherry pick like their favorite teams, and a lot of people are kind of sad about that. Like, "Oh, I used to watch EU, now I don't because there's too much." I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because they can just become a super fan of NRG, G2 already have those. So just do that with their favorite team, and hopefully there will be consistency. It's not going to be like really short careers. I like to think that more events will make players. What do you reckon? Do you think players will be more consistent, or is it just going to be recycle, like new players all the time because there's so many events?
Well, I think it'll be, I don't know, it just depends on the player. Like if a player just starts slacking, they're going to get sent down and then eventually probably not qualify, and then maybe they like get one qualification but they might not last long. I think it just depends on like their motivation, how much they're actually putting in, but obviously it's easier said than done.
Yeah
Coming from me.
Yeah. Do you think that Psyonix needs to nerf First Killer because he just keeps winning everything? He's just so much better than Monkey Moon that you just can't stop him.
If they need to nerf him, or they could just buff Monkey Moon.
Oh, true.
Like that way the region could be on par.
See, chat, Rizzo's a glass half full kind of guy. Okay, that was good. I like that. Just buff.
It's way more fun. Yeah, when everything's getting buffed and everything's overpowered, that's usually a fun game. Everybody feels good about their character. So, like, we got to get to the current. I mean, we talked a little bit about retirement there. The other big thing we got to talk about is the announcement of there not being an RLCS X LAN. I think you were talking about this a bit in your stream the other day. You probably had like a million questions asked, but how would you summarize? Earlier on, you said it's also the thing you're most salty about. So you clearly have some ideas on this. What are you thinking about that fact?
I didn't expect there to be a LAN event, and the
Yeah.
reason I'm salty about it is because everybody started talking shit after they said there's no LAN.
Yeah.
Which is weird, you know. But
Yeah, we didn't expect there to be a LAN either. I thought there was close
same.
to 0%.
Same.
There's too many like border restrictions. Like there's no,
how would you even
and everybody's
do it?
young.
Exactly. These are exactly the reasons I thought too. Like you're gonna bubble everybody's parents, like all the 15-year-olds parents, they're just gonna quit the rest of their life and be in a bubble so that their kid can play at like a video game competition in a couple months or something like that. And there's no way.
Yeah, it just doesn't work out.
So
and if they don't do a bubble, they're at risk of other stuff.
Yeah, loads of liability there. Like countless liabilities and potential headlines that would just be like suicidal for Rocket League, Epic Games, Psyonix to walk into. But like, okay, yeah, so no anticipation of there being a LAN. I think from most of the Rocket League community who are realistic on the subject, obviously the people who are vocal on this are going to be the people who expected one. So there's been a ton of like outcry from that group of people saying, "Wow, we expected a LAN. You know, this esport are doing one, this esport are doing one." And I think somebody made a Reddit thread. It was quite interesting. It was pointing out, well, actually, there hasn't really been that much, and a lot of them are getting cancelled, and a lot of them have had teams not show up, and players not show up. And I mean, imagine if PBS
there was
have
one
Moon and Rogue don't go. It's like, well, is this even a world?
Another instead of a Mickey Mouse season, is there's going to be a Mickey Mouse LAN. So
yeah, it was like it was probably going to be a lose there anyway. But yeah, I also wanted to ask, like, obviously, you know, they're not being LAN's not a surprise to you, but what do you think about all of the you know, reactions people are having to this whole situation?
I don't. If there are people who like actually expected a LAN and they're like pissed about it and they're like yelling and, you know, rage typing and like Reynolds went on Twitter and he was talking about all that stuff and saying, "I can't believe there's no, like, how do you not believe there's no LAN? Like I don't know why he would expect there to 100% be a LAN event." Like he looked like he was the most upset about it from what I saw. He was typing
there's a lot
tweets.
of tweets.
Yeah, it seems like you guys are you and Johnny are on the exact same page, by the way. I think we were expecting that you weren't maybe on the same page, but it sounds like you have the almost exact same position here.
Well, I didn't want to like lead that first question, so I just wanted, like, you know, Rizzo's answer there for a very like open question. But I tuned into a little bit of your stream because I saw you were live talking about it, and you're reading all the tweets, and I did tweet about this, and you know, typical you know, as condescending as possible fashion. But yeah, I was pretty mad at the reaction, honestly, and I couldn't resist. I did resist the urge to tweet a lot of things there, but I did want to tweet. I didn't want to reply to anybody. Didn't reply to anything on the Reddit or the Twitter. I was like, I'm just tweeting, and that's it.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
here it is. I have the tweet, guys. I have the tweet.
Oh,
yeah, it says I didn't tweet it. It's there. Yeah,
I said, frustration at the lack of LANs for RLCSX is understandable, but all I'm seeing on the timeline right now is another reminder that much of the RL Pro scene has some serious growing up to do.
Yeah, I do want to amend that. I talked about this on my channel the other day, but I do want to amend. I made a mistake there. I don't want to just limit it to a lot of the RL Pro scene. I also want to include in that the fan base, and especially the Reddit and Twitter.
Doubling down, huh?
They're all got to grow up, because for me it was just. I mean, I do say, you know, it's okay for people to be upset. I agree. I think Rel's tweet about Scrub was hilarious. The one about like, the last time we had a line, Scrub was good. I think that's great. That's a funny tweet. And a lot of the people are just tweeting out like, "Oh, sad" or whatever. I think, you know, nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine to be sad. Everybody's sad about this. But I didn't like the shade that was being thrown at like all the work that had gone into this year. You know, by Psyonix esports team, and everything like that.
How people were saying like the entire season doesn't matter, or stuff like that.
People saying like, how could they not have, you know, got a LAN? I was like, seriously, come on, guys. Like, this is so childish to think that there was ever a chance that there was going to be a LAN, and to blame it on them, and to act as if they're doing this to purposely like hinder the progression of Rocket League. And then everybody, you know, I'm seeing coaches, players, and stuff saying that this season is pointless. I just think this is ridiculous. A lot of the common response is, they're just kids, you know. They'll let them be upset. They're just kids. A lot of these people tweeting are not kids. They're adults. And they're still tweeting this. It's ridiculous.
I think there's kind of an understanding from last season as well, from season 9, because I think there's either Extra or Monkey Moon. One of them ended up tweeting something of like, no more reason to play or something like that. No more lost motivation. But like after season 9, I think we had qualified or something like that. 4 worlds, and then they announced that they're just doing a regional.
Yeah.
Or like there's gonna be no worlds and it's just the regional, and like it's not like as a player, it's definitely different. Like I didn't care this season because I knew I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So I was like, if there's no LAN, it's whatever for me. But I could
Yeah.
100% understand as a player why you would be incredibly upset and lose motivation over
Definitely.
that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that was never the.
And I don't think there's a
never
problem
liked
in
that.
like venting that. Like I see Extra's tweet. He said literally no point of playing anymore. GG's. A bit extreme, but at least he expresses how upset he is. I think there's no problem with that.
Yeah, I think there's a line though. Like upset is fine. I mean, I've said a few times that upset is okay and tantrums are not okay. Like, you know, throwing shade at Psyonix and throwing shade at the whole season to me is like ridiculous, because this season I think has been by far the most progression the Rocket League's ever made as an esport, and it really looks like a promising future, and I have full faith in where it's headed to continue on that trajectory. But then, yeah, seeing people try to distract from that and be like, "Oh, what a waste of time this has been." I'm like, "Are they serious? Nah, come on." There's so much prize money and so much more content, so many more teams, players, casters. Everything's like grown immensely, and now just because of an emotional reaction, everybody's ready to try and throw mud at people who really don't deserve it. I mean, I'm sure Psyonix tried their absolute best to make something happen at the end of this year.
Yeah, they probably just kept waiting and waiting too, and just nothing really got better.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to predict how this whole year
I'm
was
sure
going to go.
April last year, we didn't all think that we'd still basically be in a pandemic, in a lockdown, the way the world is right now, at least.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe I'm just a pessimist. I kind of thought, okay, yeah, we're just not going to be doing anything. I was like,
definitely. But most people, I think most people didn't feel that way. I think most of the people that have had like a really big issue with it, I just really don't think they knew, like, I don't think that they've had correct expectations. I think we're all kind of saying that they didn't really have correct expectations for what's actually possible. They don't understand the position that Psyonix is actually in as a business. And then they don't understand what the logistical implications of like actually running a LAN right now would mean, and how many huge question marks, like with what borders will or will not be open. Like, for instance, right now, France, where I'm at, is closed off to the UK completely.
Mm-hmm.
At least last time I checked.
I think everything's pretty much closed in Europe. Like UK, a lot of the fan base for Rocket League, probably half or more, is from US and UK combined. Mostly US, of course. And they're the two countries with the best vaccine drives. But it's really not going that well in other places. I mean, Brazil, South America, just, unfortunately, record deaths every single like day that I read a headline. I'm like, this is not on. The horizon is far away. Like it's not looking like it's going to be LAN time anytime soon. So like, I mean, sucks to say, but yeah, this might only be like the first disappointment.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's one like at the end of the year. But if you're saying anytime soon isn't like a month or two, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
I could see maybe like a USA LAN is probably the most feasible thing, because most of NA Rocket League comes from the US, and Canada might be able to get players over there, but Europe is like so much more complicated with all these borders and countries and different,
that makes
like,
sense.
Situation is crazy.
Speaking about the you said Canada, US and Canada, is one of the like the R6 players. Like you were talking about how the LAN events and sometimes the teams didn't show up, or like players could. There's like a player who is I think he's Canadian and he went to the US, but he's stuck in the US.
What?
Because he can't go back to Canada because Canada's border restrictions. They'll let you out, but going from the US to Canada right now is not easy.
He's not a citizen, or he's a citizen.
Something with like a visa as well. But yeah, he's like stuck.
Oh my.
That's brutal.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's
visa
so many things
COVID.
that could have gone wrong. It would, like, even outside of like people catching COVID and bringing strains from one country to another of the virus, like so many things could have gone wrong if there was a LAN. So I'm actually kind of glad. Like when I heard there's not going to be one, I was like, oh well, at least that's a lot less things to worry about. At least we know it's going to be like normal. What's now the normal is unfortunately what we're currently doing. So yeah, at least I think it would have been a huge risk.
And with Jknaps as well, he had problems getting to the team house, and we were just like, don't worry about it. Like it's whatever.
Did he just go? Did he not go to the team house when you and Chicago were there?
He was there at the beginning of the season, and then for I think the second split he wasn't there. I can't remember, but
Right.
maybe one of the regionals he was there. But he ended up leaving, and then there's so many precautions between Canada and US that
Yeah.
he didn't want to go to the US and then get stuck here. So he was like, it's not worth.
So yeah, probably a smart decision. But the good thing is, I think it's better to wait. And I mean, I don't know any behind the scenes info. Everybody's always thinking, "Oh, is Johnny on the payroll to tweet this? He probably knows like all of this like secret stuff he's not allowed to tweet." I'm really not. Like, I'm not part of that conversation or decision making process. I don't know anything. So I just looked down the line. I'm thinking, at least it looks like when there is a LAN, it'll probably be done right, and like it'll be a good one. It's not going to be one of these. It's like, oh my goodness, I hope this goes right, because there's so many things that could go wrong. So yeah, here's hoping. Maybe it'll be this year if we're lucky. Until then, we've got a lot of NA versus EU talk on Twitter. This is the other thing we wanted to kind of finish off this part of the podcast with. So Rizzo, NA versus EU, thoughts?
Okay, let's talk about your tier list. Was that for interact? Was that a farmer?
What do you mean? Was that a farmer?
Impression farming.
Were you farming interactions with that? Or yeah,
Wait, where's it posted? I don't even know. Is it on Twitter, on Reddit?
I mean, you just did it. People are gonna talk about it.
Yeah. No, I think this is. I mean, I'll be honest. I do like to farm with the setup for how I reveal it. You'd have to watch, because obviously, like
you did the better teams first. I had the dip, but I saw you do it.
I did the worst teams first. I saved the best teams for the end, and then do a little bit of farming with the reveals and the build up. But no, I don't think it's. I think it's pretty. I can make a solid argument for this. Yeah, but yeah, you tell me what you think. I want to know. Everybody wants to know what you think.
You don't think there is a single NA team on the same level as BDS?
Well, my angle on this is EU and NA recently have been kind of even. Like Season 8 with the last LAN, it was dead even overtime.
Wait. I feel you. Yeah. I feel you're spitting facts, but Season 8 was a millennium ago. It's so long. But I'm gonna Does it matter now?
It looks to me like the trajectories of both regions online were kind of similar. And I mean, when you watch the games, I mean, when I cast the games, I can kind of tell what level I'm watching. Like sometimes I'm watching a game, and then I'm like,
you probably watch them a bit more.
Sometimes when I'm casting like an EU or an NA game, I'm like, oh, this is just dire. And like at the end of the game, like once we're off broadcast, me and like my co-casters will just be like, what on earth was this? Like, what is happening? And then other times you're like, whoa, these teams were really, really good. Like you can kind of see. I mean, even what Middle East Rocket League, I think those guys are phenomenal. I think they're actually really close to the level. Maybe not because of experience, but watching them play, when you go on one person's camera and you can see how they move and see how they play, you're like, yep, this guy's got it or they don't. I don't think Sam have got it. I don't think OCE have got it. I think Middle East do. I think EU and NA obviously do. So like, there's that element, and also just like the history of the regions. I mean, they kind of look to be pretty close all the way throughout the last halves. And the only argument that I think is good for NA, like going farther in this whole COVID period than EU, is that NA teams work harder. Do you have a take on this? Because I don't really know. I kind of don't really do my research.
Well, what do you know about EU teams? Because I know about the NA ones.
Well, EU teams, I mean BDS, they were grinding. They're putting the work in, and so some of the other teams are definitely grinding. I think Top Blokes were on the grind, and once they won a regional, they kind of fell off a little bit.
But what is on the grind?
A lot of EU players complain about there being not enough people in six mans, for instance.
Is six mans still a thing? And
six mans, yeah, they do it occasionally, but I don't. They'll complain about six mans in NA too, but that's just because like they have nothing to do. They don't take that as like actual practice. I don't think they just know it's better than right.
Well, see, Vitality is a good example, because Vitality they're the most accused team of not playing enough, and still every time a major comes around, they perform well. They came second in both majors, even though the regional results have been kind of iffy. They always show up. I mean, if there was a LAN next weekend, I don't think anybody would doubt Vitality performing well, because they always seem, K-Dop LAN, very big at LAN. This team, they're probably going to be a contender. Doesn't matter how bad they look in an online event, because it's Vitality, and they always like step it up when it matters. So that's like why I had them there. alongside the NA teams, because it's more, for me, the NA teams are kind of on that kind of level. I expect if there's a LAN, they're all going to do well, but I think BDS, I mean, that domination is something that we'll probably never see again. And although NA's got more top teams, 4 of my top 6 is NA, I do think EU's got more like scary teams and players further down the line. Like NA is very top heavy. There's a lot of really good teams in NA, but then those teams are consistently qualifying every time because there's not that many teams upsetting them and like taking games, taking series. Whereas in Europe, there's so many just random French teams and random Spanish teams. You're like, oh my goodness, who are these guys? They're really good. They just like knocked out.
Yeah, like the middle of the pack is kind of crazy in EU.
Yeah, I think the middle of the pack is really scary, and that's like caused a lot of teams problems. Apart from BDS, who are like clutch every time until recently. They lost 2 events in a row for the first time ever.
So you don't really think that the rest of EU is like bad? You just think BDS is so good that nobody else can compete with them. Clearly, you think that.
Are crazy. Yeah, they're just. I mean, I think they're in grand finals. They've won. If you include grid grand finals, like grid playoff grand finals, BDS have won 14 and they've lost 0. They have not lost a grand final this year. They've lost, I think, 4 events in the RLCS. Is it 4 regionals? Maybe chat can tell me. I think they've lost 4 regionals. Vitality won 1, Top Blokes won 1, and now Queso and Guild. And in all 4, they didn't make the final. But every final they've made, they've won it. Like that's, to me, that's pretty crazy.
That's definitely good results. But I don't know if it's. I think it's more of a testament towards the region. I don't want to like. I was mentioning this before, but I don't want to like sell BDS short. I just think the rest of the region can't keep up to them. I think at least you should have Energy and SSG up there with BDS.
Yeah, I definitely I baited chat on those ones for sure. Yeah, that definitely did happen. Yeah,
maybe Envy I can understand if you put them in A though. But Energy and SSG, I think those are gonna be your juices.
I think it would be close. But I think I would put my channel points on BDS. I'd put my money on BDS. If
your channel points.
Yeah. I went the one time I went all in on BDS winning, they lost to Queso. I was like, how is this the first time BDS have lost? And I put all my channel points, I put like 250,000 on them, and they
oh my god!
Like, this is unbelievable. But, you know,
where do your channel points go in those head to heads, Rizzo?
I don't usually bet the channel points. I bet it on one G2 match. I went all in and they won. I don't even remember who they played, but 3 points.
Okay, so the results argument, I don't think there really is one. I mean, BDS are clearly the best results, but I think there's definitely something to the gameplay argument. First Touch podcast love to do this. They'll look at one clip of BDS conceding, and they're like, oh yeah, man, did they get clapped by NA? I'm like, come on, guys, it's like 1 goal, 1 goal, extras.
Yeah, no, I've seen some plat plays, and like you gotta try to be as unbiased as you can. I think your list is low bias there though.
I saw your one. You put like Rogue, Envy, Energy, and SSG all up there with BDS. So I mean, you think Energy, SSG should be up there? Do you think you were just trying to get were you farming with Rogue and
maybe
Envy up there?
Maybe I messed up with putting Rogue up there because they have been very inconsistent. But I think if this was maybe like a month or 2 ago, easily they're up there. But maybe I didn't think about it too much. I think at least I can at least admit I'm wrong, Johnny. That's
I can't do that. I can't. I'm too old. I'm stuck in my old ways.
I'm curious from a player's perspective who doesn't really have a horse in the race anymore. How do you feel about BDS's run? Like the level of consistency they achieved and stuff like
this. Dude, it's so good. And I'm sure they feel so good about it. Sadly with no Worlds, they're a little upset, but that is something that like any player would dream of. And winning makes the game so fun. So I'm sure they were having a blast.
Yeah. I mean, it is a good angle on it. You know, you don't want to diminish that. But yeah, I like that. This is kind of why I would love to see like an EU. I mean, I know they do it in League of Legends, like the EU, like LCS. I don't know. Is it still done like this? Like it's mostly European commentators, and in America, it's American commentators. They all ship their own region.
Yeah, LEC is the European one. So their entire Twitch channel is LEC, and it's just the European broadcast. And then LCS is the NA one, and then they also have LCK, which is the Korean one. And there's others, but I don't know them.
They all really big up their regions. And when I used to be a much more avid viewer of League of Legends, I used to love that. It was such good content listening to the EU casters argue the NA casters. Then the Korean casters would be like, "Well, you're both ridiculous. You're both stupid."
Yeah.
I was loving this content because right now we kind of just have one broadcast team and we're all opinions are kind of the same. So it's actually awesome to see, First Touch podcast. They have such a different view on it because they don't do both regions. They're just like, well, they don't cast either of the regions. They could just like give their NA opinion. And then there's other people like I think I go definitely leaning a bit more towards the EU to kind of balance that, and because it's just fun. I mean, it's more fun. If I just went out and I put BDS in the same tier as all the top 4 NA teams, people would be like, "Oh, it's the same as Rizzo and the same as the First Touch guys." Boring. So I was like, well, obviously, if it's if there's
obviously I'm gonna farm
that,
here.
yeah, obviously, if there's a reason not to do that, I'll do it. So yeah, you got.
Are you saying that your tier list includes no farming at all, Rizzo? As a now a professional content creator, retired from the game.
No, I legitimately made that list. I think maybe putting Rogue there might have been a mistake.
Yep.
And people had a few questions, maybe move this one, maybe move this one over here. But no, I didn't. Listen, all I'm saying is I saw both of ours posted on Reddit, on the RL Esports subreddit, Johnny.
Posted on Reddit, yeah.
Yours has 70 comments. Mine has like 40. So I think you've become the certified farmer on this one.
Yeah, that is a good litmus test. Yeah.
Yeah. Yours is at 78. I'll look for mine real quick. Mine's at 48. So you're 30 above me with the comments.
Oh, okay, you might have me there. I mean, yeah, you got the discussion. It's got to you got to trigger the fanboys. Although G2 and NRG were the most like. All chat were saying G2A, NRG S, even though they were very like. I think my chat actually put Rogue and Envy in A. By the way, it was my Twitch chat poll had them.
Yeah,
in A.
I could see that.
It did have NRG massively in S though. It was like 80% vote.
Yeah, NRG. I think NRG deserves to be up there, but also NRG has a lot of fans, so it makes sense. They'll be pushed for that one. I'm sure SSG did not have as many votes up there.
SSG was still in their favor, but yeah, it wasn't as one-sided as NRG. But I will admit it was extremely fun to not put them in S after all the fans voted that. All the viewers voted it.
Yeah, you probably loved it. You're like, oh man, can't wait to show them this one.
It's so much fun. I baited them, making them think I'm going to put Rogue in C. That was a ton of fun as well. So I do enjoy this kind of content. But we do have an announcement actually that we're allowed to announce. So we're talking NAEU. As you guys saw yesterday on Twitter, I was just out like having some dinner with my girlfriend and a couple of friends, and we all had our phones on the table, and then my phone started blowing up, like the notifications are popping off. I was like, what is going on? Like, what happened? So I look and I've got like 1 million Twitter notifications, 1 million Slack notifications. Everybody's like, oh my goodness, the call out, Rattle's calling out Guild. So I can say that it is happening, boys. It's happening next Wednesday. What day is it today, actually?
Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday. So
8 days from
now, we're getting it's Guild versus Rettle's First Killer and Chicago on EU server. I'm going to be streaming it, and I am also extremely excited to announce my commentary team, Dream Team, of Dazarin, Turbo Pulsa, and Rizzo himself. We're all
let's go. Let's go. We got my first gig.
So we're all going to be streaming this. Everybody, I don't think Turbo's streaming, but Daz, me, and Rizzo are all going to stream this. So I think it's going to be a good time. It should be a good one. I'm excited. But yeah, it's next Wednesday because this week's pretty busy for the NA guys with Grid tonight and then RLCS this weekend. So we're going to do it the week after. Viewing parties, by the way, are absolutely welcome. So anyone who wants to viewing party my channel, if anyone's listening, like, oh, I want to watch this, yeah, just you can view party my channel. Don't need to ask. The usual. But you do have to ask Rizzo for permission. You didn't. I'm not giving permission for him.
You can viewing party mine too if you'd like.
Yeah, everybody's viewing parties are good. We're not gonna try DMCA you. Don't worry about it.
Same time.
It's gonna be fun.
That's the play. Viewing party both. Same time.
You party them both. Like, so you said their first casting gig, Rizzo. Seem pretty excited about it, which actually might be surprising to some people because you said that you're not interested in becoming a Rocket League caster. So what's going on?
Okay, there's a difference between like a show match and like a grid broadcast or an RLCS broadcast. Definitely no interest in an RLCS broadcast. Couldn't do it. No way. Not a chance. Grid, if it's like a viewing party style, I could do it. I think this is more so like messing around.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do play-by-play for this one, and Turbo is gonna do the color. Actually, I think
I could do either one. It doesn't matter. But there's it doesn't matter as much. It's like it's casual. It's casual.
For sure. Yeah, understandable. Understandable.
So if you're not casting, when do you start coaching?
I'm also okay. That one I'm not. I mean, to be fair, I do replay reviews on stream. People consider that coaching, I guess. So I kind of do, even though I said I wasn't interested.
And to be fair, your track record's not that great. Your boy Atrioc got bodied.
Oh, wow.
That was rough.
And you were even in live comms.
But Lud had like practice from like he had that 2015 practice. So I don't know. He was at an advantage.
Yeah, his dad does work at Rocket League Esports. That's what he said when we interviewed him. So yeah, that makes sense.
He did say this. So yeah, you gotta maybe run that back in the future. Although I think who knows? Maybe if we do another smug in the future, maybe we'll be able to get.
Yeah, I was gonna say now you can just be chilling in that content creator category, man. Like you can really body somebody. You can really ruin somebody's day.
What? Is that what I'm supposed to do as a content creator?
Well, you're a former pro, so
rivals,
it's tough.
There's Twitch rivals now. You were a pro up until now. Now you can go to the content creator category and get an insane team to win everything.
What if they consider Musty a pro but not me one time? Because he's sub for energy.
I mean, surely that would just benefit you because you could have a better team.
Maybe, yeah.
That'd be funny. I mean, yeah, some of it's hard. The line is very blurred for the content creator pro sometimes. I mean, Forky was a content creator in a threes tournament, ended up on my team, and we just dominated because I was like, well, I've got Forky and Andy on my team. I don't have to do anything. Like we just won, and I didn't touch the ball. So it's hard to get that right as a TO. Oh man, but yeah, Matt, I think is it time for the Widechamp round?
It's fucking time.
Covered the full.
Sorry for the swears, but it's time. All right, Rizzo. I don't know if you've ever watched our shitty podcast before, but at the end of the pod, we do the Widechamp round. So there's a little like rapid fire questions, and then we'll play a game called Team Demo Ranked, and some other easy questions. But we'll start off with your favorites. What's your favorite car that you don't main?
Probably Breakout.
Breakout, nice. Is that like the very beginning? Is that like harken back to like the early days of Rocket League for you?
Yeah, it's like the ESL tournaments.
Nice.
Oh man, the ones that Corelli's team was sleeping. Actually, were you on the team that was sleeping through everything? We talked to Corelli on the podcast. He said he teamed with you, and then it just never really went anywhere because everybody kept sleeping in.
I don't think that was me. No. Me and Corelli didn't play for that long together.
Oh, really? He said that it was a really like long, actually, relationships. Maybe. Yeah,
he said it was really fruitful. That he enjoyed his time. Sounds like you have the opposite opinion.
I mean, I enjoyed my time, but I don't even think we played that many.
Yeah, it just sounds like it made a lot more of an impact on Corelli than it did.
Yeah. You know how I'd answer that, Rizzo? I'd say that you're the best team in the world. Without him. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, say that.
Continue.
As you were saying, what I was saying. Okay. What's your favorite decal?
Oh man, dude, I don't even know the names of them. I mean, I've been using the Fortnite one. It's called like Yonder's Fleece. I've been liking that one, but the only reason I know that is because it's new. It's what I'm using right now. So favorite right now.
I mean, yeah, if you can only remember one, it's got to be your favorite, I suppose. What about your favorite boost besides Alpha?
Probably the standard boosts.
Standard orange?
Pink's pretty cool. Standard pink.
Yep.
Kind of a lame answer though, but
that's OG.
That is. I was gonna say that feels very season one-ish as well.
Pre-season. Everybody had that.
Favorite wheels?
Christiana's.
Okay. Favorite speed trail or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't even know what it's called.
Dude. I don't even know a single one. I'm pretty sure I use default.
Supersonic lines. Favorite supersonic lines. Yeah, I don't know a single one either. Okay, cool. That does it for that. Team demo ranked. It's a bit like Marry, Fuck, Kill. We'll give you the name of a team. You say one player on the team that you would want to team with, one player that you would demo, and the other player you'd play ranked with, which is, very non-committal, sort of just have fun, kind of hang out vibes. Okay. Cool. Johnny, you can start us off.
Okay, so first of all, we pretty much do this for everyone. And there's a very standard answer. We'll see if you go for it. It's NRG.
Oh God. Oh God. Team Garrett.
Standard.
Ranked Justin. Demo Squishy.
Standard. Rizzo's going for this standard.
Is that standard?
Answer. That is standard.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes people demo Justin, but I think that is the most standard. I mean, it's Team Garrett, everybody said Team Garrett.
Yeah, everybody Team Garrett. That makes sense.
Everybody's shocked that you demo Squishy, though. Like, the Twitch chat cannot believe this.
That's because every time we see NRG play, I always say this, it's Squishy's #1 fan club. Like, that's my stream, Squishy's #1 fan club. So I think I might have messed up there.
All right, what about Space Station?
Probably. Okay, demo riddles. Let's just get that out of the way. Probably team with Sipical, I guess, and ranked with Arsenal.
That'd be good. Like, Arsenal's popping on YouTube, so that's easy content right there.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, of course you were thinking that.
Easy content right there. All right, what about Envy? Of course.
Team with Turbo.
Amazing.
Demo Atomic ranked miss.
I think everybody wants to see a team with Turbo. When Turbo retires, you can just make a team with him and just try to qualify. The meme qualifiers.
That'd be the play. It'd be the best.
All right. Yeah, actually, Matt just added a great one here. F2.
the OG F2.
OG F2.
Is there a new school F2?
They like swap players and stuff occasionally.
But yeah,
but it was never as serious.
Man, I need to start reading Octane.gg again.
The article. You missed the article. Oh God. Team with John. Ranked with Rob at demo Mike.
Oh really?
I don't know Mike that well. But he's
you
cool.
might go ranked with Mike for the clickbait YouTube videos. Everybody's
cheer the comeback. Video. See, I didn't even think I don't have the content creator mind yet.
Yeah, you gotta keep working on that. All right, we have to, of course, do a little bit of Europe as well. So what about BDS?
Oh God. I legit
let us know if we can tell you who plays on the team.
I was thinking about it. I figured it out though.
Yeah, when we had Calm on, he actually didn't know who BDS were. He was like, who?
What did we know? We asked him top looks. He said, is that Ixo's team?
Yeah, true. Rizzo's like, wait, what? Do something.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. Dude, I legit don't even know these guys. Like, team with, I guess Monkey Moon, make it easy, right?
Yeah.
And then I would
just hope to dodge first killer in bracket.
Yeah, I could only pray. Ranked with Extra and then Demo and Mark.
Per Mark. Mark, I feel like Mark always catches demos because nobody knows him.
I don't know him too well, yeah.
Very consistent. But yeah, these guys are super new. I think people forget how new BDS are. They're all rookie. Well, actually, Extra's not rookie season, but Mark and Monkey, this is a rookie RLCS season. They're just like so good already. All right, we got two more, one current, one ancient. So Vitality, you know these guys a little bit better. Probably a lot better. in K-Dub Fairy Peak
Yeah.
space.
Oh god. Which one speaks the best English?
Fairy Peak by far.
Fairy.
By far, yeah.
Do I
Fairy
go
Peak's
with that?
Fairy Peak's English is great. They like all the French guys underrate
Yeah,
their own
that's
English.
actually true.
Fairy
I've never talked to
phenomenal.
Alpha, but
Alpha's
Yeah,
English
Fairy's
is fine.
is good.
English
Alpha's
pretty good as well.
fine, yeah.
okay, I would Team Fairy.
Just standard.
Ranked
Kangaroo.
ranked K-Dop, yeah. Demo Alpha.
Demo Alpha. Wow, ranked K-Dop. He's getting into the French
Content.
community.
That's a content one.
That's a content play for sure. Wow. Amazing.
He's learned. All right, last one. Somebody in chat wanted season 1 IBP. So I'm imagining.
Did somebody in chat write that? I wrote that on my own accord.
Oh, you wrote this first? I saw
Yeah.
it in chat, and then I.
Oh, maybe they. I didn't even see it. I just wrote that on my
guess
own accord.
you
I don't
did
know
well.
why. I was just trying to think of
Same
new
wavelength.
other things.
The thing is, so like season 1 IBP had Kronovi, who you did team with. So like we usually avoid that, but hey, we'll run it one time. So I imagine that's the Kronovi Lichinio over 0 because they had a few different at Gambit as well. But yeah, Kronovi Lichinio over 0.
Team Kronovi.
He's gonna run it back.
Ranked. Yeah, run it back. Ranked with over 0.
Ooh.
And a demo Lucidio.
He doesn't react well to demos, actually, but that would be good content.
True.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh,
that is
my.
also good content.
That's unreal. Wow. That's a great video. We always have to shout out this video. It's on JBots. I think it still is pinned tweet to this day.
Yeah.
He's so proud of this video he made of him and Calm demoing Lichinio like 10 times in a ranked game. Lichinio smashing his desk.
He's got that auto tune during that one part. He's like, "Oh man!" It's so good.
Yeah,
it's subtle.
2 years ago, it's still there pinned.
Yeah, he could have like overdone that auto tune. You know what I mean? That is like comedy genius from JBot there. He just this one little part just throws it in there. I love it. It's fucking great. So good. All right.
That's the TDR finish.
Yeah, that's Team Demo ranked finish.
Chat's going to keep going for forever, but we're going to call it there. That's a lot of teams.
We do have one more question for you, though. What's a hot take that you have that most of the RL community would disagree with?
Oh god, I don't even know if I have a hot take.
You don't strike me as a hot takeless person.
Hot takeless person.
Yeah,
somebody
it seems like you have hot takes.
I don't think I have any hot takes for you.
Okay. What was the last take you had that like people were like, "What the fuck, man?"
I don't think that really happens.
Probably yesterday on my tier list.
Okay.
Yeah. That's probably it. Yeah.
Did
everybody will question every single thing. They'll be like, "What? This guy deserves 1 tier up from C to B."
Oh, he's a B plus, no C minus. Everybody wants complaints. But yeah, that is a wrap right there. Absolutely phenomenal. I did not think we would get through that much in an hour and 20 minutes.
So that's nailed it.
Unreal.
What where should people find you these days?
Yeah, Rizzo, he's a retired pro. You know, he's up and coming in the content creator world. So some of you guys might not have heard of him.
Got a twitch.tv/Rizzo or Twitter/Rizzo_TV.
Yep. Use creator code Rizzo TV.
No, actually, no. Got it.
I
got
know.
it changed.
I teed you up.
You got it. Creator code Rizzo. Don't forget it.
I bet there's still somebody out there who's like, wow, I'm such a great fan of Rizzo, sinking money into Rizzo TV. Although nobody has that anymore.
With the white fennec.
They used Rizzo TV with the white fennec, or the
white fennec. Well, it was in the shop.
So, I mean, like, now that you've moved to the Rizzo creator code, I mean, like, before, the problem would have been worse because Rizzo was a creator code that people could use, and it wasn't you.
Yeah, and I know he got money because people would be like, "What? I've been using the code Rizzo for 6 months."
Yeah. Oh, that's
so I know he got money.
But at least now nobody's got the Rizzo_TV or Rizzo TV one, so you should be good. Somebody in chat right now is making it. They're like, "I'm gonna farm Rizzo's fans." You gotta go get
the old code.
But But yeah,
Amazing.
that's it.
What can we
so much for
expect
coming
from
on.
you from a content perspective? I guess that would be my last question. Moving forward, you stick in the Rocket League lane, or are we gonna see you go back to Minecraft, hang out with Tommy in it, get on the Dream server?
I do want to do some other stuff, but I wouldn't really do that much or that sort of stuff on YouTube. Just I wouldn't even try it. But I think the main thing for me is just getting active on YouTube again. I'm really trying to push that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
because that's always the slowest for me when I was competing. Like I really wanted to, but streaming was so much easier.
Yeah. So more of like what you've seen in the past from Rizzo on YouTube, the revival.
The revival, exactly.
Sick.
Resurrection.
A phoenix from the ashes, chat. A phoenix from the ashes.
Are you? I've got one last question as well. This is my last question. Are you and Athena still going to do those grid viewing parties or just viewing parties in general?
Probably.
I've got to say that was funny. That was like really, really good content. I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, that's good. We probably will. It just depends. I think for I really wish I was gonna say for Worlds. Well, for maybe that event, it just depends. It's so lame just watching one region though. I don't have much interest in watching just EU, so I just I have to watch like a really close series to be even interested in it for EU. But for NA, I can actually kind of still root for people and be like, "Ooh, that's cool. Nice job, buddy." It's like my friends, so
yeah, it's actually your friends, yeah.
I just don't know EU people too well, so I never really talk to them.
You use super new. So many new, like brand new players, or like they've been around the scene for like a year and a half tops. Like all the OGs just fell off at the same time. Yeah, it's rough for the old fans. But yeah, you are in the clear. I think that's a wrap, Matt.
That is a wrap. Thank you, Rizzo, for being on the pod. Thank you, Johnny, for your backpack. Thank you, chat, for all the subs and the massive amount of follows. That's going to do it for the Rizzo episode. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did making it. We've gone ahead and created a playlist just for you. It's a playlist of former pros who have retired from Rocket League. It's really interesting because a lot of the same themes come up in these conversations. Go ahead and check that out here and enjoy the show.